Welcome to the best of high school sports in Northern California. We are the B Prep Show.
And we're coming to you from Sacramento State, home of the Sock Walking Section Football Championships.
Welcome back for another edition of the B Prep Show. I'm Mike Finnerty, joined as always by my co-host Joe Davidson, the Sacramento Bee, and we are coming to you from Sacramento State.
And this is the home of the Sock Walking Section Football Championships. It's a great venue. In a matter of weeks, I can't believe the season's wrapping up in a regular season. Mike, we got a lot of football throughout this whole show, as we do every week, as we try to bring you the best of high school football and other sports in this region. We're going to catch up to the Cordova Lancers. Used to be a superpower, dropped off. They've come back. What's been the key there? Previews, rankings, all that other stuff, but we got some good stuff in other segments as well.
We do. I get a chance to catch up with Granite Bay soccer star Corban Anderson, a little feature on him, and a connection to his very special brother. And we're going to bring you some volleyball highlights, soccer highlights, girls water polo. We got it all. We're going to start off with our Les Schwab game of the week. It's football, Joe. It's Golden Sierra at Bradshaw Christian.
Here's what's interesting about these two teams. These are small school powers. Bradshaw Christian in South Sacramento. It's a relatively new school. Golden Sierra way up Highway 50 in Garden Valley, one of the small schools in the Sock Walking section. Small schools that play big.
To Elk Grove we go for a Sierra Delta League showdown with a 3-0 Bradshaw Christian Pride. We're playing host to the 2-0 Golden Sierra Grizzlies. A big crowd on hand to see this one on Alumni Night at Bradshaw Christian. We'll pick it up early in the third quarter. Bradshaw Christian with the ball up 22-21 when Alex Crouch, he takes up the middle and scores from 20 yards out. And with the extra point by Danny Lawson, the Pride extends its lead to 29-21. A short time later, Bradshaw Christian with the ball again when Kyle Wilburn looks left and heaves it downfield. A great catch at the 2-yard line, and that'll put the Pride in business. Then it's time for Grant Dragmeyer. He's going to take it up the middle for another touchdown somewhere in that pack of players. Dragmeyer's third score of the night, and it's now 36-21, Pride pulling away. However, Golden Sierra didn't go away quietly. Quarterback Nathan Anderson, he's going to hit Riley Prine across the middle, and Prine will do the rest. A few moves to get open, and he is gone. That goes for 72 yards and a score, cutting the lead to 38-26 with just over 7 minutes left to play. Late fourth quarter now, under a minute to go. Grizzlies on the move when Anderson goes downfield for the big play, but he's picked off by Dragmeyer, and that is going to put an end to this one as Bradshaw Christian defeats Golden Sierra 38-26, a key league victory for the Pride.
We had a mindset of wanting to run the ball hard during this game. You know, they filled the box. You know, we wanted to stop them on their run, so it was just a running football game, and executed. Linemen did great.
It was a great win for us tonight. We battled tonight. You know, we had some adversity did not go our way, and you see the kids just picked it up, which is impressive. You know, you'd love to see them when they get the chips against them and keep going, and that's what we did tonight. And I was really happy with our team the way they played tonight with the whole adversity. Our quarterback went down, and they didn't hang their head. They went and battled.
All right, Joe, we got more football. How about the Elk Grove Thundering Herd? They bounced back from their back-to-back losses, and they got a good one over Pleasant Grove.
We'll stay in Elk Grove and head about a mile down the road to Sheldon High School to see the 4-2 Elk Grove Thundering Herd take on the 1-5 Pleasant Grove Eagles. Elk Grove with the ball, opening drive when running back Arturo Allen takes it around the left side for the game's opening score. And after a missed extra point attempt, Elk Grove is up 6-zip. Pleasant Grove answers back though as quarterback Jake Ford steps up and finds Dylan Fisher, and he's going to take it in for an Eagles touchdown and a 7-6 lead with 7:36 left in the first. After that, the balance of this game would belong to the Herd. Spencer Sheff is going to sprint 17 yards and dive in for the score. It's now 13-7 Elk Grove. Second quarter, Elk Grove ground game just continues to dominate. Sheff, he's going to find the end zone one more time. Herd now up 20-7. With just over 2 minutes left in the half, quarterback Tyler Vanderwall, he's going to find Jake Belici for a 9-yard touchdown connection, making it 27-7 Elk Grove. The Herd would go up 35-7 at the break and eventually cruise to a 42-14 win.
All right, Mike, as you can see, the Thundering Herd have terrific speed, and how do you recover from back-to-back losses? You win. The Herd, they like to run the ball. Mike, I got an injury update off of that game. Jake Ford, the junior quarterback for Pleasant Grove, took a helmet-to-helmet shot, was laid out, was not unconscious, but because of these concussion concerns, you don't take any risk They take him by ambulance during the game to UC Davis Medical Center. He said he's okay. I'm going to be back with my teammates really soon. It's a relief to hear.
Yeah, good news for him. There's been a lot of injuries so far this year, Joe. All right, Joe, we got more football. Our Fox 40 Final Quarter, our friends at Fox 40 Final Quarter have some highlights for us. We're going to get right into it. We're going to talk some big picture football here, Joe. El Camino, how they looking?
I think they're still a factor. And one of the longtime traditional schools in Sacramento, got a nice home crowd as usual, refurbished Abbott Field. You've seen that field there. El Camino has to keep playing good defense and be balanced in offense. A leader on defense has been Devin Murkovich. He had 3 interceptions in this game, a 96 win over Casa Roble, a game that was sealed when El Camino made a defensive stop on the final play on a fake field goal attempt. We love the defense. Hey, 9-6 in this kind of offensive era, that's pretty good.
Yeah, we'll take it. All right, Joe, one of the small school programs of note has been Bear River, Lake of the Pines. What's the update?
The Bruins are still winning. That's the update. You went up there and visited them a few weeks ago, and they have voters. They have 2 voter brothers. Jason Voter is the quarterback. John Voter is the running back. And what makes this program go is the tough, gritty, determined efforts of these kind of guys like the Voters who grew up through the program, beat Colfax 21-20 to set up a Pioneer Valley shootout at Placer. We're going to preview that game later in the show, but the Bear River Bruins are always a factor because they have pride. It's amazing. It's nice to see the small schools do well.
All right, let's talk about the Rockland Thunder. They have a new quarterback, Will Floyd. He takes over for the injured Max O'Rourke. What do you like about him?
Well, the first thing he did is he picked the brain of Max O'Rourke, who went down the week earlier with a broken leg, and Max O'Rourke says, hey, this guy's a leader. He's going to be just fine. And as you can see, Will Floyd's a big guy. He's 6'3", he can throw, he's got all kinds of skills. He's also got a really good defense. Dustin Hallentine really set the tone in this 35-7 win over Wood Creek and Roseville with a pick 6, 55 yards. And you got to have some balance. And Rockland has that with Evan Holtz. He could run it, he could take a screenplay, he can go up the middle and score on you. So that's a big win in Sierra Foothill League play for Rockland, which now takes on the top-ranked Folsom Bulldogs, and we'll preview that game later as well.
All right, let's keep it going. Let's stay in Placer County. The Roseville Tigers get a big win last week over Bella Vista. Do they still have a chance to compete in the Capital Valley Conference?
I think so, and we're big fans of Larry Cunha, one of the great coaches there. He's just a class act. A lot of injuries there, so what do? You have to have balance. Ben Zanisher is a good running back there. Defense, you have to have playmakers. Blake Rayback had a pick 6 in this 42-14 win over Bella Vista. Michael Dobler stepped up at quarterback. He had a touchdown pass, and he had a punt return for a touchdown. It's always fun to do a little dance in the end zone when you're winning. So yes, do the Roseville Tigers have a say in this league race? They sure do.
All right, Joe, let's talk some more Tigers. The Intercom Tigers, they're B ranked. My question is, are they that good? You've got them pretty high. Are they legit?
They're big time legit because of Coach Terry Stark. He's been there a long time. He just really emphasizes the run. And when you have a running back like Austin Thurman who could break it long or power it in from short distance, that's fine. And he was big. The defense was big. Big key 30-12 victory over River Valley of Yuba City in Tri-County Conference play. Yeah, they're a big time factor. Intercom could be a Sac Joaquin Section Division II championship contender as well, so always a factor.
I love the name Mike. I've got that name. Let's talk about 2 Mikes on the football radar right now. Mike Morris, Mike Jimenez, what do you got?
Well, Mike Morris, as we know, is the classy, retired, supposedly, football coach at Rio Linda, the all-time winningest coach there. He is out of retirement now. He's the defensive coordinator for the Knights because the coach that he hired to replace him, Justin Kutch, says, I need you. I need your experience. Can you lead the defense? So he's back. They don't retire. They take a break and they come back. I think it's a double bonus. And as you and I were talking off the air, there's no ego. There's no ego. These guys just want to win, and they're off to a great start.
All right, that's going to put an early wrap on our football. We got plenty of football throughout the show. Before we leave you, let's talk some of your small school rankings. Some interesting teams up there. Talk a little bit about them.
Well, how about Escalon? Escalon's been around forever down in the southern part of the Sac Joaquin section, and a milestone win from Mark Lorero. He's already had 8 section championships. Now he's the all-time section winningest coach. 262 victories with a win last week. He eclipses Max Miller, one of our all-time favorites. This guy went to school at Escalon. He's coached there for 25 years. He's a terrific champion, and he's won a state championship as well. This guy, he's big time. So it's a great win, great honor for him. And Max Miller and I were talking on the phone last week. He goes, I hope he gets it.
Yeah, that would be cool, wouldn't
classic.
it? Yeah. All right, Joe, got a lot more still in the show. We've got volleyball, we've got soccer, a whole lot more football. Stick around.
This is your RAM Auto Update. Just in, the classic term used car is old-fashioned, outdated, and no longer of any particular relevance. Let's party. The Roseville Auto Mall is throwing a massive factory-certified pre-owned sales event. That means incredible savings on just about every kind of car in the world. All factory certified. It's happening now. It's going fast. In layman terms, skedaddle. The Roseville Auto Mall, driven to be the best.
We want to thank our title sponsor, Save Mart Supermarkets. Shop Save Mart up and down the Central Valley.
Welcome back to the B Prep Show, as we bring you the very best of high school sports in Northern California. Big emphasis in Sacramento, brought to you by our good friends from Save Mart. Mike, a lot more football coming up in this show. Football is the big train in this valley, if you will, but soccer is also big around here, and you got to catch up to Corban Anderson, of defending Sac Joaquin section champion Granite Bay, and he's more than just a soccer player. He's got a great giving heart. It's an inspirational story of giving. I love it.
It was fun. Here's this week's Schools Financial Credit Union Game On Athlete of the Week.
Granite Bay senior and 3-year varsity soccer star Corban Anderson is one of the very best players in this area, and he has the resume to prove it. Sierra Foothill League MVP, Division I section champion, team captain, and he has a scholarship awaiting him at the University of Washington. It was a path that was paved early for Anderson.
It's been a long time coming. I started playing when I was 5 years old at Eureka Rec Soccer, and my dad was my coach, and my mom even was my coach for a little bit. But I mean, I've been playing for 12 years now, and I mean, haven't lost the love at all. It's my favorite. I express myself on the field. It's what I love doing. So.
Away from the soccer pitch, though, there is more to Anderson, and it starts with his relationship with his brother Caleb.
My brother's my best friend. He's 19 years old. He's special needs, and grown up with him, and I mean, I couldn't be more blessed to have him as a brother. He's taught me so much. I really owe almost all of me and my attributes to him. So I'm very thankful for Caleb.
When Caleb was 6 months old, he was diagnosed with hypotonia, a state of low muscle tone that is common in neuromuscular disorders, and Corban has certainly learned a lot from his brother.
It just really gives me a different outlook on playing. It gives me the opportunity to see like, wow, I have this opportunity to play this game that I love. He doesn't, and just in terms of different characteristics like patience and things like acceptance with other people, it really just gives it a new spin and a different outlook that's really more personal and really has developed me into the person I believe I am.
I think that having Caleb as an older brother has helped Corban. He has just a sense of compassion that is very mature for his age. He is just a loving kid, and he really cares about the underdog. And he knows it because he lives with one.
In Corban's spare time, he and Caleb stay busy.
We spend a lot of time together. He loves the Wii, so we'll play Wii every once in a while, play with Legos all the time. We have a tandem bicycle, and we actually ride that a lot over to New York, our favorite frozen yogurt place, and just being with him, spending time, it's great.
Go to the mall together, go to walk around each other. I mean, he's a talented soccer player.
So with the regular season coming to a close next week, playoffs around the corner, can this year's Grizzlies squad make it back-to-back Division I section championships?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, we got to finish up league strong. First of all, winning the league, and then hopefully going undefeated. That's our goal. But with playoffs, I mean, we want to win. That's our main goal. It always has been. So it should be good. Hopefully we play Jesuit in the finals and have that the rematch of last season. It should be great.
All right, Mike, that's terrific as we try to get to know who these people are, so you get to know who these people are. Corban Anderson, Granite Bay Soccer, a champion in every way.
Very mature kid. He's learned a lot, obviously, growing up with Caleb. And as his mom said, he is sensitive to the underdog, and that's a good quality to have.
That's great.
All right, Joe, we got some soccer highlights now. Speaking of Granite Bay, they took on the Roseville Tigers.
Soccer highlights now, where the B's #3 ranked Granite Bay Grizzlies were at home to take on the Roseville Tigers. Grizzlies looking for their 7th straight win. Not much scoring in this one despite several opportunities. However, at the 25th minute, Granite Bay's Brandon Miyashiro delivers this shot. That's going to find the left side of the net. That's good, and Granite Bay goes up 1-0, and that would prove to be the only goal in this match as the Grizzlies get the win and improve to 14-1 on the season. Next up, we've got a Pioneer Valley League showdown. This from Railhead Park in Auburn, where the Lincoln Fighting Zebras were on the road to take on the #17 Placer-Hillman. Both teams tied for first place with records of 3-0-2, and this one was all Placer. Skipping ahead to the second half now, Hillman up 2-1 when Sean Green lets this one fly. He scores it. A terrific shot by Green. That goal puts Placer up 3-1, and that would prove to be your final score of this match as the Hillman improved to 10-1-4 on the season and now take over sole possession of first place in the PBL.
All right, Mike, how about some more soccer? Here's the Sacramento Bee top 20. What about the Grand Pacers?
Grand Pacers playing well, Joe. They got a win over Pleasant Grove. That's going to move them up from 14 to number 5. And as we mentioned, soccer rankings brutal. You got teams that are ranked losing to teams that are unranked. Other than the top 4, Jesuit, Christian Brothers, Granite Bay, and Davis,
it's chaos.
It's movement, it's chaos.
It's fun chaos right there. We love it.
All right, Joe, still more in this show. We've got volleyball. We get a chance to also go out and introduce you to the Cordova Lancer football team playing well. We're going to preview some upcoming football games. Stick around.
There's a history you feel when you visit any of the Von Hausen automotive dealerships. You'll sense the quality of Mercedes-Benz, and you'll experience the low-pressure atmosphere that comes from 2 generations of family ownership. Mercedes-Benz of Sacramento, Mercedes-Benz of El Dorado Hills, and Mercedes-Benz of Rockland. 3 great reasons to drive one of the world's best automobiles. Come feel the difference or visit vonhausen.com.
We'd like to thank our sponsors, starting with Save Mart Supermarkets, where fresh comes first. Shop at Save Mart up and down the Central Valley. Schools Financial Credit Union, banking for everyone, value, convenience, and emerging technology. Von Hausen Automotive Group, celebrating 50 years with Mercedes-Benz. Stop dreaming and start driving. Roseville Auto Mall. If you're looking for a used car, go to the Roseville Auto Mall with over 6,000 vehicles to choose from. And Les Schwab Tires. Since 1952, we promise we'll get you more for your money.
All right, welcome back to the Bee Prep Show as we bring you the very best high school sports throughout Northern California and Sacramento especially, brought to you by Save Mart. Okay, more football coming up. Just had some good stuff on soccer. What's going on in volleyball?
I don't know what's going on.
You're honest.
You talk to some of the coaches, there's been some strange wins, some strange losses. We'll talk more about that later. But right now, we've got the Pleasant Grove Eagles taking on the St. Francis Troubadours.
2 of the area's top teams met up on Tuesday, where number 4 St. Francis was on its home floor for a showdown against number 3 Pleasant Grove, with St. Francis looking to avenge its 3-1 loss to the Eagles back on September 18th. St. Francis took the first set 25-19, so we get you to the second, where Mary Kate Schildmeyer puts the Troubadours up 17-11. Down the stretch of this second set, it was Marissa Golnick setting up Kylie Green to go up 23-16 and 24-17 before the Troubadours take that second set as well, 25-17 for a 2-0 lead in the match. Looking for the sweep, Green put St. Francis up here 14-8. Pleasant Grove kept it close with Samit Gill getting the block at the net to stay within 4, but St. Francis and Golnick ended on this serve. Ball falls in there for a 25-20 game winner. Troubadours win this one in a 3-0 sweep. A team playing very well this season is the Davis Blue Devils, 19-7, heading into their Delta League matchup against 16-9 Elk Grove. At Elk Grove, home of the Thundering Herd. Opening set, Davis's Carly Kajanka with the kill to put her team up 8-4. Later, McKenna Sherwood to Kajanka. Can't stop that. It's now 18-10 Davis. 2 big plays at the net by Evelyn Brady helped give the Blue Devils a 25-16 first set win. Second set now, and it was close. Maya Gallardi ties it at 13-all. Here's Carolyn Brady at the net. She finds some open space to put Davis up by 3 before taking that second set 25-21. Davis would take this match in 4 sets and then 2 nights later upset St. Francis in 5. A big week for the Lady Blue Devils.
All right, Mike, good to see the Davis Blue Devils back in action. A factor since the 1980s in the Sac Joaquin section, but it's hard to figure out what's going on with these volleyball programs, which is good because everybody's taking on the heavyweights and upsets happen.
It is strange, Joe. First of all, as you saw in the highlights, Pleasant Grove, they fall to St. Francis. St. Francis avenged a loss earlier in the year. And then 2 nights later, Davis, ranked much lower than St. Francis, beats the Troubadours. So it's kind of been like that this year, Joe. The only team that's really been dominant is El Camino, but they lost to Pleasant Grove, so we don't even want to get into that. It's been crazy.
Yeah, I think what it's going to do is going to set up everybody for a real good Sac Joaquin section championship runs in Division 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's good.
Yep. You like water polo?
I think it's great. And you know what? They don't walk on the bottom of the pool.
No, they don't.
They don't.
We'll wrap up our highlights for this show with girls water polo, where longtime area power, the St. Francis Troubadours, were scoring off against the McClatchy Lions. This from Jesuit High School. Second period now, St. Francis already up 5-0 when Anna Rayfield finds Lauren Charter. That's good. And then moments later, it's Rayfield again. Her turn to get it to go. It's now 7-0 St. Francis, and that was pretty much the theme on this night. The Troubadours score 3 more times in the half to go up 10-1 and would eventually close this one out with a 17-3 win.
A credit union is a not-for-profit member-owned financial institution. Can your bank say that? Demand more from your financial institution. Make the switch to Schools Financial Credit Union for low loan rates, state-of-the-art technology, making accounts accessible anytime, anywhere, and more ATMs than most major banks. Anyone who lives, works, or worships in Sacramento and its surrounding counties is eligible to join. Be part of the credit union difference and bank happily ever after with Schools.
We want to thank our title sponsors, Save Mart Supermarkets. Shop Save Mart up and down the Central Valley.
Welcome back to the Bee Prep Show, as we introduce you to the best of high school sports throughout Northern California and Sacramento. Mike, when you talk about football tradition, it's hard to top the legacy of the Cordova Lancers, so dominant for so long and then really dropped off in recent years. Vance Mueller, the former Raiders running back, has done a wonderful job getting this program back on track. You got to catch up to them. You know, they've learned lessons on accountability, responsibility, selflessness. I loved it.
They're playing well. They had a tough loss recently, but good to catch up with the Lancers.
No Sacramento area football team was more dominant in the 1970s and the 1980s than the Cordova Lancers. In the 70s, Cordova's win total of 106 was the most in the country, and in the 80s, their 98 wins led the section. Over that span, the Lancers won 5 section titles, but in the 1990s, dominance began to fade. After legendary coach Max Miller left in 2007, the Lancers fell on some hard times. So in 2012, former Jackson High star and Los Angeles Raiders running back Vance Mueller was hired to turn the program around.
For us, you know, the whole thing was just the process of defining what were the issues at hand here, why have we been struggling, and what do we do to start turning it around?
Well, turn it around they have. In Mueller's first year, they won just 1 game, followed that up with 2 wins last year, and now this year they've won 6 games with 3 still to play. So why the sudden success?
It's just our kids. We have been saying for the last couple years, what class is going to be the class who's going to say, this is it. We're going to be the guys that are going to start trying to turn this thing around. And I think our juniors who came up and blended with our seniors, they've been in our system now. That's the only system they know, and they're bringing that and blending it with our seniors. And these guys are just great kids. They work hard and they love football.
As for the players, there's been a whole new attitude around the team.
I feel like that we have players that want to play and I want to come out and I want to turn Cordova around instead of having a 1-9 season, and we want to be undefeated. So
it's good to be competitive, just be competitive every week instead of just losing like we did the last few years. But yeah, I like it. It's fun.
Although dominance has been gone for years, Mueller says that the winning tradition from the 70s and 80s still lingers.
Absolutely. I mean, it lingers for me. I mean, it's one of the reasons a lot of people always ask me why Cordova. And Cordova for me was very much for that reason, because when I was in high school, Cordova was the show. And I was telling Joe that, hey, on the weekends, you know, I always would want to read about our team and what we did, but I always wanted to know what Cordova was doing, because those guys were always undefeated. They had big stars, and it just seemed like, man, you wanted to measure yourself up against those guys. You think we could hang with those guys? I don't think we could have, but we always wanted to, for sure.
I knew about it. My dad was an ex-Lancer. He played during the 90s, so they were pretty good then. But I think everybody knows pretty much that we've been good, and we could be better than we've been.
So, Coach, is the football program back?
We're on the verge. I can't say that we're all the way back, but we're where we hope to be in our 3rd year, definitely making the right kind of progress. And I think our next 4 games are going to tell a lot about where we are. But I believe the program in a whole is definitely on the right track, and we're very excited. We're proud of the Rancho Cordova community. We're proud of the legacy here, and we understand what it is, and we want to try to live up to it as coaches for sure.
All right, Mike, that's good stuff. When I talked to the Lancers for a B story during that 6-0 start, Coach Mueller said, we will lose a game, but it will not define us. So 6-0 to 6-1, we'll see how they respond.
Not bad. All right, Joe, let's honor a couple more athletes. We've got our Von Hausen Stars of the Week.
This week's Von Hausen Stars of the Week are Grant Dragmeyer of Bradshaw Christian and Maya Gallardi of Davis. Dragmeyer, the 5'11", 155-pound senior running back and defensive back for the Pride, had a big night for Bradshaw Christian in its 36-28 win over Golden Sierra. Dragmeyer rushed for 187 yards and 2 touchdowns, also caught a 43-yard touchdown pass. On the defensive side, Dragmeyer had 4 tackles, 6 assists, and an interception that would seal the win. As for Gallardi, the 5'10" senior outside hitter helped lead her Blue Devils to wins over number 16 Elk Grove and number 3 Pleasant Grove. For the week, Gallardi averaged 23 kills, 20 digs, and 2 aces.
All right, Mike, always good to catch up with the great efforts of small school athletes and large. We got some football. Let's talk about it.
Let's do it. Let's preview some games coming up this Friday. Joe, we're going to start in the Delta League. Monterey Trail taking on Elk Grove. When I think of Elk Grove, I think of that terrific running game.
Oh, yeah. Spencer Chef could run with power. El Toro Allen has got great speed. Manny Scott Anderson gives him balance. And then Trey Nahas does the real workload job for Monterey Trail. He's got that 4.3 GPA.
It's a good one.
Yes.
All right, Joe, stay in the Delta. You got Jesuit taking on Franklin. I think Franklin has a little payback for Jesuit.
Franklin lost 42-7 last year in a non-league game. Now it's a Delta League game, as you mentioned. Bo Bisharat is a load for Jesuit, and for Franklin, there's offensive balance. Jake Lopez with a nice receiver named Brandon Johnson.
Let's move on. We got El Dorado going up against Cordova. I think at a quarterback's there. El Dorado's Nick Bonnickson. Cordova's Unique Perez, a unique name. Could be a good game.
It could be a very good game. Unique Perez has to play really big. They struggled, the whole Lancers did last week in their first loss. But, hey, this is fun to see. These are 2 teams that suffered, and now they're successful.
Yes, they are. Let's go down the hill. Let's go Granite Bay taking on Wood Creek in the Sierra Foothill League. Granite Bay's playing good. They're putting it together now. They're really starting to play well. Wood Creek, though, has fallen back a bit.
Growing pains for Wood Creek. Never been 5-0, and now has lost a couple games in a row. What do you do about it? Win. Yeah. And when you talk about Granite Bay, I always like to start with Cameron Smith. He's got 2 pick-6 touchdowns. He's a bouncer body who could really truck downfield.
And he's going to be focusing on Malcolm Thomas Jr., I'm sure. All right, we're going to wrap it up with one more Sierra Foothill League game. We've got Rockland going up against Folsom. Folsom, we know their story. They're just tough to beat.
Yeah, top ranked for a reason. So good on offense. Jake Browning makes all the throws, got dominating offensive line play. Sam Whitney leads a dominating defense. Rockland's got this nice new quarterback, Will Floyd. He has to play out of his mind because Folsom's rolled everybody, and this is a team I think Folsom could go 16-0.
All right, if you want to see this show, tune in to Comcast Sportsnet California every Tuesday, and it re-airs Wednesdays and Thursdays. And if you miss it on TV, where can they catch it?
SACB.com every Friday, and we have news, notes, features, columns, photo galleries every day of the week in the print version of the Bee and on SACB.com, because we understand and appreciate the value of great high school sports.
The new look SACB.com, by the way. Folks, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next week.